'Tis the season for joy, 'tis the season for food, 'tis the season for drinks. But how can we do so responsibly and be healthy while we're doing it? This morning, I want to welcome Nurse Sherma Alexander-Campbell, who's the National Administrator of Nursing Services under the Ministry of Health. Good morning to you, Nurse Sherma.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers.
And compliments of the season.
And same to you. Thank you for having us.
So, in this fantastic season where we discuss so much about food, we discuss so much about drinks, and everybody tends to do some overindulging a little bit because, it has just so many options.
That's right.
How do you advise us to even start to begin to eat healthy?
Right. So, yes, I agree with you. Family, friends, colleagues, it's a time of celebration. It's a time of giving thanks. It's a time of all the good things of Trinidad and Tobago that we have on our tables. But you know what? We want to see January 2024, and we want to see Christmas 2024. So how do we do that, especially for our patients who are suffering from non-communicable diseases, particularly diabetes and hypertension, which is what the Ministry of Health is focusing on this Christmas season.
Okay.
So how can we encourage those patients to enjoy the season but remain healthy? So what are we asking them to do? Look at your portion sizes as you go through the Christmas season. You have cake and pastel, macaroni pie, potato salad, rice, ham. How do you enjoy all those things, but do not end up in our accident and emergency department come 4th, 5th, 6th of January 2024.
All right. So just before we go into how to do it specifically, I just want to back up a little bit and ask about, these non-communicable diseases. What are the things that tend to trigger a reason for them to end up in the emergency room?
Right. So non-communicable diseases are a category of diseases that are often referred to as lifestyle diseases.
Right.
So these are diseases that if you practice unhealthy habits, you increase your risk of ending up with diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and cancers. So they're really lifestyle diseases. So the Ministry of Health is really encouraging our individuals under our TT Moves banner, Movement for Lifestyle Change, where we encourage individuals to eat a healthy diet, get moving, 30 minutes of exercise every day, and look at your fruits and vegetables and increase your water intake. So really it's about healthy lifestyle changes.
Right.
Yeah.
So people who already have these non-communicable diseases, they should be already practicing this lifestyle that you're talking about.
Yes, we know that it's a challenge, especially sometimes for those that are probably elderly, because they may think, I can't exercise, I can't walk, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, but there are so many ways in which you can actually safely exercise. Now we have exercising from the chair. You can actually sit in the chair and get a terrific workout.
Okay.
Burning off some of those calories so that you can maintain a healthy lifestyle.
All right. So how do you recommend then or what is the changes to the diet that needs to happen for Christmas in particular? How do you recommend you manage that season?
Okay, for that season, we're asking individuals to really, again, look at your portion sizes. Have a little bit of rice, some peas, a bit of chicken or your favorite meat. But also remember that if it is that you want to look at that black cake and the ice cream, you need to include that in your meal for the day. So don't have everything off the table
and then
add that on. And that's sometimes a challenge because, with friends and with families around, it can be...
I mean, you want a little taste.
Yes, you do.
You just want to make sure you taste the black cake. I don't know how it's going.
Right. So if it is that you're going to take the black cake, maybe have half a slice.
Okay.
If you're going to have that sorrel, have half a glass.
Right. So it boils down to portion control.
Absolutely. And spread it. It's a season. It's not a day. It's a season. So spread it across.
There are days that we tend to want to indulge a little bit because let's say Christmas Day, for example. You mentioned family, right? So family comes over for Christmas Day. We have ham, lamb, jam, everything on the table.
Right.
And this cousin bring a punch of cream you want to taste. This auntie bring a little sorrel. You want to make sure it tastes good. Is it that we can say, all right, so if for this season I indulge on this day, And I do eat nothing else for the rest of the season. Is that okay?
Okay, so what we see happening is that individuals take this across the year. All right?
Right.
So they're good January to November.
Right.
And then come December, they think, I can pile it on. No. It doesn't work that
Oh, gosh, you can't get no points from doing it good for the whole year?
Nope. Because in that short period of time, because you are actually affected by diabetes and hypertension, you can actually overindulge. So you're actually now increasing your chances of heart attack and strokes because of that short period of time of overindulgence. So we're asking you, particularly over the season, spread it across. Have half a cake, have half a slice of cake. Maybe on Monday you can have half a slice of cake, and then you look at it again on Friday.
Okay.
So
you're saying twice a week is safe enough to be able to indulge a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay.
But remember, we want to enjoy the season, and you might have a christening coming up, you might have a wedding coming up. You want to see those things. And you do not want to add that additional stress to yourself and to your family by actually overindulging over the season.
And what if we were to adjust the meal? So let's say we want to put a healthy twist on some of the things. Like I know some people who would say, they will put, I don't know if this is even healthier or not, but let me say put pumpkin in your punch creme instead of eggs or something like that.
Right.
Does that make a difference?
So there are ways in which you can do, there are lots of stuff out there. When you go to your appointments, speak to your dietitian.
Okay.
Find ways in which, as you said, you can actually be creative about your meals. Look at the sugar that you're using. Is there a plant-based alternative that maybe cause less of a spike in your blood sugar as opposed to refined sugar? So there are ways in which you can do things that lower the risk of you having health concerns post-season. Another thing that we want to encourage individuals to do, once you have that meal, if you overindulge, what do we tend to do? Sit back on the sofa and
lie down.
Fall
the
asleep.
itis is kicking.
That's right. Instead, get up and take a walk. 10, 15, take your grandchildren with you. Take your son, your daughter. Make it a family affair.
Right.
Go out, take that walk, and have a play with your children. Run around the yard if you can. So those sorts of healthy lifestyle changes can actually make a difference even during the season.
Okay. And what about medication? Do we see a lot of people, slacking off on their medication during this season as well?
Yes. So individuals have a way of thinking, if I want to do the alcohol, I need to stop the medication.
But that's not how it does work?
No, that's not how it works.
How?
You need to continue taking your medication as prescribed by your doctor.
Even if you want to drink the alcohol?
So you need to moderate, even if you're not on medication, still moderate the alcohol. But yes, continue taking your medication so that you can enjoy the season safely, and then come January, the new year, you will continue to be well.
Is there a risk involved? I know I guess it would depend on the type of medication that you're taking, because sometimes they recommend that you don't. So for those who have been recommended that, all right, with this medication, you can't drink alcohol, what advice would you give them? Just forget the alcohol for the season?
Yeah, usually that tends to be more around your antibiotics. Yeah. So the pharmacist or your doctor that does the prescription or fills that prescription for you will give you that advice. And if that advice is not there, please continue to take your medication, because we want you to be well. No one likes going into hospital. The doctors and nurses do an excellent job, but we don't want you to be there because of the added stress to yourself and to your family. So we want you to enjoy the season, but in moderation.
What are some of the things that you usually see people coming into the hospital for around this time?
Well, post-Christmas and New Year, it will be the high blood glucose from the diabetics and the high blood pressure patients with escalated high blood pressure, and the increased risk of heart attacks and strokes.
Okay.
And those are some of the things that we really don't want to be seeing this season.
Yeah.
It's time. The interesting thing about it is that people say it's challenging. The food don't taste good if I have reduced salt. But our bodies will adapt. Our taste buds do adapt. And don't do it cold turkey. Every time you do it, put a little bit less sugar in there.
I
a
was
little
not
bit of
going to
less
say
salt
that's a
in there.
practice you had to start from since January to be able to make it through Christmas. Because I agree with you that your bodies do adjust, because I know people who stop putting salt in their meals now, and you can't even tell the difference because the food is so tasty
That's
even without
right.
the salt.
Yeah.
So it's always good practice to be able to know how to be able to do it properly with or without, and to be able to reduce and change that whole lifestyle approach. But what about, are we concerned at all about overdoing fruits? Can we overdo fruits in terms of sugar levels and that kind of thing?
Yes, you can, especially if you're diabetic. You can overdo fruits. So
Okay.
it's about, mango currently is not in season. You may get a couple.
And also in my Julie mango tree has some other.
Right. So if you're diabetic, maybe doing one face of one's face, the
Right.
face of the mango, as opposed to the whole mango.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a smaller mango, say for instance a dudu,
Right.
then maybe yes, you can have one of those. So it's still about moderation and looking at your portion sizes.
So generally, the message I think that we're getting here is that in general, it's about moderation. It's about making sure that you don't overdo anything, any
Right.
one thing.
Right.
So that you want a half a glass of sorrel, and we don't mean half of a big glass sorrel, we mean half of a regular drinking glass. A half glass of sorrel is fine. A half glass of punch creme,
Yep.
once you're not on antibiotics,
That's right.
is fine as well. A half a slice of black cake. So basically, everything that you're going to share to people, cut half to be able to eat for yourself if you are diabetic or hypertensive.
That's right. And if it is that you know that you're challenged because some of us, we might use a large plate and we're thinking, it's still a quarter of a plate, right?
Yeah.
Reduce your plate.
Okay.
Reduce the size of your plate, or even do the vegetables first, so that the vegetables and the salad take up the majority of the plate, and then you add a spoon of rice, half a spoon of peas. So there are ways in which you can actually get a relative to help you who might be a little bit more stern with you and say, Mommy, no, you can't have that, right? So if you're taking your plate yourself, maybe get someone to help you. Depends.
So I know, like for me, right, when you talk about eating less of the things, certain things, I think to myself, like, but I go be hungry after. So is it that if we drink plenty of water to balance that off, or is it that we just need to drink plenty of water in general?
General, we need to have between 8 and 10 glasses of water a day. And we're talking about a proper glass, 250 mils.
Not the same glass we drink in the sorrel in?
No.
A proper big glass?
A proper glass. A proper glass, we need to be drinking 8 to 10 of those a day. And actually, when you are going towards your meal, drink a glass of water half an hour before you eat.
Okay.
So again, if you think that you may again be tending to overindulge, then have a glass of water before. Have some healthy snacks, maybe a handful of nuts before,
Okay.
so that you're not super hungry, because we know what it's like. Christmas Day,
Everybody
there
waiting.
Right, might
Yeah,
be a
because
bit of a delay,
it's
right?
anti-K lunch at that point.
That's right. So you're preparing
Yeah.
yourselves. So,
But tell me something from a medical perspective. What does the drinking of lots of water do?
well, actually, that helps the body hydration,
Right.
so that you actually feel well. Your cells are better able to function. You're not dehydrated. And sometimes we're dehydrated and we think we're hungry. And so we eat, but actually we're not hungry. We're actually thirsty. So that if you continue 8 to 10 glasses of water a day, and for some of us who that's not our pattern, it may be a bit challenging
At
initially,
first, yeah.
but keep trying. And your body actually functions better when you're well hydrated.
I would attest to that. I started drinking a lot more water recently, and I feel the difference. Your
You
body
do.
feels a little bit lighter. You feel a little bit more mobile, and you know what I mean? It's always a good vibe. Well, Nurse, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for sharing all of this lovely information. I want you to go ahead and look into that camera and wish Trinidad and Tobago a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Trinidad and Tobago. All the best for the new year. Remember, keep moving and in moderation.
Keep moving. Don't move in moderation. Move plenty. Eat in moderation. Thank you so much, Ms. Sherma Alexander-Campbell, for joining us this morning, and all the best to you for the season and for 2024.
Thank you very much for having me.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
We take a quick break and come back with more inside the Now Morning Show. Stick around.
Put something in your mouth. I feel it to put something in your mouth.